Located in the center of modern-day Mexico City, Tenochtitlan was the largest, richest, and most powerful city in Mesoamerica. It's estimated that its population was between 200 to 350,000 people, making it one of the world's largest cities at the time. And this city has a history with giants. According to Aztec mythology, Tenochtitlan was originally built by a giant named Tenoch, one of the 7 Kinametsan giants who survived the Great Flood. So perhaps it's fate that a giant would be the city's greatest hero and defender in its final days. In 1521, a massive siege was waged against Tenochtitlan. This was led by the Spanish conquistador Hernán Cortés, who'd become infamously known as the very man who conquered the Aztec Empire. And the siege of Tenochtitlan was the decisive event. During this brutal 75-day war, the Aztecs called upon their strongest warriors to protect their capital from the Spanish horde, and Hernán Cortés detailed one who posed a major threat in his report to Charles V, the King of Spain. Cortés wrote, quote, "The Aztecs had one formidable warrior of giant stature, called Zillicatzin, every stone he sent bringing down its target. He was made aim of all the Spanish archers and musketeers, his great stature making him easily distinguishable. But they could never defeat him." End quote. Today, Zillicatzin is often referred to as the Goliath of the Aztecs. According to details given by multiple witnesses, Zillicatzin stood well over 10 feet tall. Remembered as one of the Aztec Empire's 3 greatest heroes, his weapon of choice were giant boulders, which he hurled at the Spanish invaders. Zillicatzin crushed and killed so many of Cortés's men that the Spanish army immediately marked him as enemy number 1. This battle between the Spanish and Zillicatzin is special because it's widely considered to be the most well-documented and credible giant encounter in history. And the reason is because there are detailed records of him, made not only by the Spanish, but also by the Aztecs themselves. The following is an account from an Aztec elder who survived the battle, translated from the Aztec language, Nahuatl. Quote, "The great Captain Zillicatzin arrived, bringing with him 3 great huge stones of the kind used for building walls. He carried one of them on his hand, and the other 2 hung from his shield. He hurled these stones at the Spaniards. He scorned his enemies, Spaniards as well as Indians. They all shook with terror at the mere sight of him. When the Spaniards found out how dangerous he was, they tried desperately to kill him. They attacked him with their swords and spears, fired at him with their crossbows, and tried every other means they could think of to kill or cripple him." End quote. From most of the reports, it's indicated that bullets and arrows had very little effect on Zillicatzin. He continued to hold back the Spanish invaders for weeks on end. He even went on to taunt and intimidate them by fighting without armor or head protection, and decorating himself with brightly colored feathers, polished shell necklaces, and gold-lipped pendants. In the end, the Spanish never directly defeated Zillicatzin. However, they did win the war with another strategy. Even though they weren't able to invade the stronghold while the giant guarded it, they surrounded the city of Tenochtitlan from all sides, placing a stranglehold on those inside and slowly tightening it, cutting off all supplies from the outside. Soon, the Aztecs began to face a famine so serious that they turned to eating leather, wood, and bricks. There was very little rain and no access to fresh water, so the people were forced to drink contaminated water, and thousands died from dysentery. And to make things a true hell, the entire city was ravaged by smallpox, one of the most contagious diseases known to history. The Aztec Goliath Zillicatzin may have not been killed by Spanish weapons, but it's assumed that at some point the giant met his fate inside the city walls from either starvation, dehydration, dysentery, or smallpox. After Zillicatzin had fallen, the Spanish army advanced inward, and it wasn't long until the few Aztecs left surrendered. As disturbing as it is heartbreaking, The fall of Tenochtitlan marked the fall of the Aztec Empire and would change the course of history irreversibly. For better or for worse, it also ended up serving as one of the most intriguing records of a real-life giant, because the accounts and descriptions of Xylocatsine given by both the Spanish and the Aztecs match up. And this indicates that the witnesses' words are accurate. And if that's true, then giants may have actually existed,